I'm here to tell you that I'm increasing your rent by $500 starting next month. You can move out if you don't like it. Huh? I'm going to be the landlord of this property starting next month. Wait, what?
Trouble Busters!
My name is Alan. I'm enjoying my nice, spacious apartment by myself. If only I had my dream girl enjoying this place with me, it would be perfect. Huh? I'm coming. Hey! Hey, you're the landlord, right? How can I help you?
Effective next week, I'm charging a $50 penalty for any household who's keeping their lights and music on after 10 p.m. per every violation.
Huh?
This is to eliminate any complaints from the neighborhood.
But isn't 10 p.m. a little too early?
I'm the landlord, and I'm not accepting any arguments.
Oh, God.
This isn't okay. He can't just come up with that rule just because he's the landlord.
Huh.
That's such a strict rule. I wonder if other residents are also following it. Huh? Hey!
Oh, hello.
I'm here to tell you that I'm increasing your rent by $500 starting next month.
What? Is this another rule that you came up with?
What are you talking about?
I mean, we're talking about $500 every month.
If you could afford to live in this community, $500 shouldn't be too much for you to pay.
That's not the point.
You can move out if you don't like it.
You can't tell me to move out just like that. Aren't these rules starting to cross the line?
Shut up! I'm just trying to improve the living quality of this community.
But you're raising the rent by $500 starting next month. That's so soon.
I said you can move out if you don't want to follow the rules. Well, you're still gonna have to pay for the move-out fees if you decide to go that route.
Move-out fee? That's crazy.
You should be grateful that I'm giving you options.
Thomas, this isn't right. You can't do this.
Huh?
Just as I said, I'm telling you that you don't have the authority to raise my rent.
Who do you think you're talking to? I have power over this community, and I get to say whatever I want, whether it's going to be the upcoming year or the upcoming decades, as long as I'm the landlord here.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by upcoming year?
I'm just telling you that I'm going to be the landlord here forever.
Huh? I'm going to be the landlord of this property starting next month.
Wait, what?
I told you, right? You don't have the authority to raise the rent because I'm going to be the landlord for this property.
You think I'm gonna take back what I said if you lie to me like this, huh?
I'm not lying.
Look, if you don't fulfill my request and decide to stay at this community, I'm going to have to evict you from your unit, and I'm going to charge you a move-out fee too.
I'm telling you that you can't charge me like that.
Yes, I can. Anyways, I already gave you an advance notice of all of this, okay? You better make a wise decision if you want to continue living in this community.
What's the matter?
Oh, Alan, a lot of things have been going on for me.
Well, tell me about it, if you don't mind.
Okay, let me tell you. This is completely unacceptable. He can't keep doing whatever he wants to do.
Cody, you know.
What, really?
Thomas, it's just a matter of time till you stop doing whatever you want. I'm not letting you get away with this. Trouble Busters!
Honey, we still haven't gotten the rent from our residents yet.
What? Why? It's been a week past the due date. Why is this happening? I thought I was gonna be making more money after raising the rent starting this month.
Hello, this is the Trotro Property Management.
Oh, hey, I wanted to confirm something with you.
Yes, how could I help?
So this was my concern.
Ah, I see.
And when am I going to get my payment?
Since the property owner has changed effective this month, the rent has been deposited to the new owner's account.
Wait, what?
Haven't you been notified?
Who's the new landlord?
Who's that? I need to leave my house soon. Yes?
Hey, you!
What is it?
The property management told me that you're gonna be the new landlord.
Remember? I told you the other day. I'm the new landlord effective this month.
What kind of trick did you use?
Trick? Why don't you take a look at this?
What is this?
It's the certificate of title.
Certificate of title?
It's a documentation that proves someone to be the owner of certain land or property, and my name is right there.
What?
You see?
This must be forged. I'm not going to accept this.
He's telling the truth.
Whoa! Dad?
I thought you would believe me if I was the one telling you.
Dad, did you do something about this property?
You're pretty much right.
Dad, what did you do?
It's simple. I went ahead and sold this property, and Alan is the new landlord.
What? How are you even able to sell the property? You're the previous landlord, and you can't sell it without my permission since I'm the current landlord.
Thomas, you're right. In most cases, it's not possible.
Right? Then why is this happening?
That's because this case wasn't quite like most other cases.
Huh?
Thomas, I had you in charge of this property as the landlord, but you weren't legally the owner of this property.
But if I'm the landlord, wouldn't I have the legal ownership of this property?
Let me ask you then, why didn't you really know anything about certificate of title when I showed you mine?
Huh?
You seemed like you had no idea what I was showing you when I showed you my certificate of title.
That's because the document looked kind of complicated.
Which means you had no idea what you were looking at.
You bastard!
Since I sold the property to Alan, he now owns this property.
So that's why he's the new landlord?
In most cases, the landlord legally owns the property, but this property happened to be legally owned by Matthew.
What the heck? But then I've been getting the rent from our residents every month until last month. If Dad was the owner, wouldn't it be deposited to my dad's bank account?
I made that account to accept the deposits. It didn't really matter whether you or I had been using that account.
Oh my God! Is that so?
So that's what happened. Do you get it now?
No, I don't get it. I'm supposed to be the landlord.
The legal owner of the property has the authority to sell the property.
And Thomas, I've only had you in charge of the property.
But why didn't you tell me about this sooner?
I tried telling you multiple times, but you came up with excuses to avoid having this conversation.
That was because...
I even sent you all documents by mail. I'm sure you never even looked at them.
Thomas, we've already completed all processes. There's nothing you can do at this point.
But why? Why would you sell this property to a stranger like him instead of having me take the real ownership?
Alan is experienced in his marketing career. He's used his skills in the past to rebuild many companies that were almost about to fail. As I'm getting older too, I decided that he's the right fit to take care of this property, and that's why I agreed to sell this property to him.
I didn't know that. But then, Dad, remember you told me? You said that you'd have me in charge as long as I worked hard to manage this property.
Indeed I did.
What am I supposed to do if I'm not going to get the rent anymore?
You'll have to look for another job.
That's insane. Besides, this guy is terrible. Did you know? He never listens to what I tell him, and he keeps trying to argue with me.
I mean, you told me that I'd be paying a penalty if I don't turn off my lights by 10 p.m., and you decided to raise my rent by $500 without much notice. That's way too much, and there's no way I can just agree with everything you say.
About that.
Alan is completely right. You've been abusing the fact that I had you in charge of this property, and that's why I decided that you're not a fit to continue taking charge here.
You're exaggerating! I was doing this for the sake of this property!
You'll find out soon whether we're exaggerating or not.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
I'm coming in.
Great timing.
Huh? Who the heck are you?
I'm a licensed attorney.
What? So you're a lawyer?
Thomas, there was something I needed to talk with you about, too.
We're gonna make you confess to all the sins you've committed.
What do you mean by that?
I wonder if you can still act like that after seeing this.
What is this?
Don't act like you don't know. You made several of the residents here pay a large amount of repair costs for the water pipes, right?
Water pipe? Well, I don't know.
You can't get away with this. I have other residents who agreed to be the witnesses, too.
You can't determine facts based only on what witnesses say. Besides, what benefit would I get from doing something like that? I wouldn't be interested in anything that doesn't bring cash into my own pocket.
And that's exactly why you did this.
What are you trying to say?
You worked with the vendor to get extra fees out of this invoice into your pocket, right?
Because everyone knew that you were in charge of this property, the residents would trust that the repair is necessary, allowing the vendor to charge more than what they should. Such a clever business.
I just happened to receive some complaints regarding the water leakage, so I brought in a vendor to take care of the problem, that's all.
What I found out from other residents is that you rushed them to have this vendor repair the pipes because the damages will only get worse if the repair wasn't done as soon as possible.
We also hired a different vendor to take a look at the pipes, only to find out that the repair that was done on this property was barely a Mickey Mouse solution, and not even close to a professional service that should have been provided, especially if it cost $10,000. Thomas, what you've done is a fraud.
Oh, I see. So what?
Oh, God, he's shameless.
I just got some commission for introducing the vendor here, but the repairs were done by that vendor while they were the ones who decided on the repair cost too. What makes you say that I was part of this at all?
You keep giving excuses to everything we say.
Shame on you, son.
But Dad, you're supposed to be on my side.
I wonder if you can keep giving excuses after hearing this.
Were you working with anyone else regarding this incident?
Yes, I had a guy named Thomas help me out. He's the landlord of the Buster Community Apartments. Thomas gave me a call regarding this, and I agreed to pay him commission and execute his plan in exchange for making the changes that I've made. Thomas said that the residents won't question anything as long as he introduces me to them, and that we'd be able to charge them however we want.
The vendor told us everything.
We knew that you'd give excuses in every possible way, so we made sure we spoke to the vendor first.
This vendor was using similar tricks on other properties too, so it was easy for us to make them admit to what they've done.
Oh, damn it! They're so useless!
We can hear you. Does this mean that you admit to everything?
No, that's not right!
What other excuses are you gonna tell us when everything is already proven?
I got tricked too!
But the vendor said that you were the one who reached out to them.
That's right, but that's simply because I was trying to fix the water leak complaint that I got from the residents.
Fix the problem, huh?
That's right!
Hody from Unit A203 had to pay a total of $1,000 because there were 20 days out of the entire month that he didn't turn off his lights after 10 p.m., right?
Why do you even have this?
Cody gave us permission to make a copy of this.
Caden from Unit A304 and Tate from B601 had also paid you the penalties too, right?
Yeah, and so what? I was the landlord at that time. I charged them the penalty because they weren't following the rules.
Let me ask if that was for the right reason?
Yes, it was. I made that rule to prevent any complaints in the neighborhood, and I already explained this to everyone too.
May I ask if you actually got any complaints in that nature?
No, I didn't.
So this means that you made up this rule based on the assumption that people would complain, right?
It wasn't an assumption. It was just some preventative measures before anyone would complain.
Okay then. Did you get an agreement to come up with such a rule from any of the residents?
Agreement? What?
This goes for the rent, too. When the property owner decides to revise the contract to charge any additional fees to what's already been agreed, both parties need to agree to an addendum.
But that's just a rule that someone came up with, right?
It's not a random rule, it's the law.
What?
If you charged your residents with fees that they never legally agreed on, it's going to be illegal.
Even if you were the landlord.
Thomas, do you have anything to say about this?
Of course. I got the residents to agree to this.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
I went around to take a survey from every single resident that lives here. No one agreed to the rules that you came up with.
What the heck?
You should have cared to listen to how the residents were feeling about your rules.
By the way, Alan hired me as his lawyer regarding this case.
But this doesn't even suffice as evidence.
Huh?
You guys showed me a copy of Cody's bank statement earlier, right? He ultimately paid for the penalty, which shows that he agreed to abide by the rules. And this means that I haven't done anything illegal.
You don't get it, do you?
What do you mean?
What you're saying might be debatable, but that's only if there had been a discussion between you and the residents that you charged those penalties from.
I did have a discussion.
I wonder if that's true. Here.
Cody, I'm going to make sure you pay the $1,000 penalty. But that's not possible. Besides, 10 p.m. is way too early. But rules are rules.
But
you better make a wise decision. If Thomas tells us to, we're ready to get you evicted right at this moment. Oh my God! By the way, I'm charging you a move-out fee even if you get evicted. Okay, I'll pay it. What the heck is this?
And are you still going to tell us that you did this for the sake of the residents?
How do you even have this video, huh?
Did you do this because someone tricked you into it too?
Just answer my damn question!
This video was from the surveillance footage, and this will prove what you've done.
What? But I never installed any surveillance cameras.
I guess you didn't know because it wasn't there when you used to be the landlord.
This incident was captured after Alan became the new landlord and installed the surveillance cameras, and that's why we have this video.
And I'm so glad that I installed those cameras.
Oh, this isn't fair.
This is what happens when there's a change in ownership.
And since Cody's incident happened after Alan took ownership of this property, the rules that you have enforced weren't valid at that point, Thomas.
This means that you've simply mugged an innocent civilian in this video.
What was I supposed to do? I didn't know that I was no longer the landlord.
It doesn't matter whether you were the landlord or not. You threatened the residents, and that's a crime.
A crime?
You can be sentenced to either 2 years of imprisonment or up to a $3,000 penalty for this.
Imprisonment?
And I'm sure you're also going to be charged for fraud regarding the water pipes, too.
What the heck? You're kidding me. I can't possibly get arrested for this.
You abused the fact that you were in charge of this property, and you ended up committing crimes.
That's not true! I cared about my residents so much, to a point where it became too much. I'll never do anything like this. I have a wife, too, so please. Fine, I won't file a police report about this. Really?
Your victims also said that they didn't want to make a big deal out of this either.
Oh, everyone is so nice. Heh, these guys are just making it way too easy. Now I just need to figure out a way to get the ownership back for this property.
However, Thomas, I need you to return all the money that you've illegally taken from the residents up until now, in addition to a settlement of this dispute. It's going to be a total of $50,000.
What? 50,000? That's way too much!
You've committed way too many things other than what we've talked about earlier. Everything adds up to that amount.
But $50,000 is a lot of money! I don't even have anything in my savings right now! I don't even have a job!
I'm assuming that you don't agree to settle this here, which means that I'd have to file a police report. Are you okay with that?
Now what do I do? Look, I'm so sorry for what I've done. I'm willing to go around to all the residents here to apologize to each of them.
Do you really think apologizing will make things right after you've taken so much money from the residents for your own sake?
This must be a joke.
I know, but...
Let me tell you one more time. You have two options. You can either pay $50,000 or go to prison.
But I don't want either.
I hope you make a wise decision for your own sake.
I guess this game is over.
Thomas ultimately agreed to pay a total of $50,000. This incident ended up triggering his wife to file for divorce from him. Because of the financial burden placed on him, not only did he owe the community, but he could no longer afford to live in the community. I heard he moved into an affordable apartment somewhere else in town as he pays back the money he owes. As for me, I've been making a full use of my knowledge and experience from marketing after I've taken charge of the property. And my property is currently full with a wait list of people wanting to live here. Trouble Busters!